It's me, Nigel the Yeti, to give the details of AEW WrestleDream results. Not to toot my own horn, but I only had one wrong, and in my justification, my prediction made more sense than the actual result. Number 1. Jamie Hayter defeated Thekla by pinfall. A very competitive match where both women put on an amazing contest. Both went full force, and again Jamie Hayter is a top-notch competitor. $500,000 tag team match. Jurassic Express, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus defeated the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, by pinfall. One of the best matches of the night. I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a fan of Jack Perry, but this match was what makes tag team wrestling exciting. The combos were just amazing, and let's talk about Luchasaurus and his greatness. His size nullified much of Young Bucks' offense. Following the match, the Young Bucks almost made up with Jurassic Express, but when the Don Callis family attacked Perry and Luchasaurus, they walked off. Kenny Omega tried to get him to help fight, but they still left. Omega and Jurassic Express sent Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, and Mark Davis into a retreat. Tornado Trios match. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin and MVP, defeated The Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Kaun and Toa Liona, by pinfall. All 6 stars put everything out to put out a solid match. Unfortunately, it followed one of the best matches of the night. MVP proved all the naysayers wrong. Singles match for the AEW TNT Championship. Kyle Fletcher, C, defeated Mark Briscoe by pinfall. Let's just say the match was amazing but flawed for being way too long. 5 times 2.9999 count was annoying. Kyle Fletcher has everything to become the cornerstone for the future of AEW. Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Kris Statlander, C, defeated Timeless Toni Storm by pinfall. As mentioned, Toni Storm is the MVP of the AEW roster. The 2 stars went all out and further solidified the AEW women's division has evolved to something special. Mercedes Moné interrupted the celebration and, as mentioned in the predictions, will next go after the Women's World, but before that had an open TBS challenge. Winner takes all match for the AEW TBS Championship and Raw Interim Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship. Mercedes Moné defeated Mina Shirakawa by pinfall. The match was amazing, where both can do no wrong. Biggest problem is the placement of the match, where it seems more important than the world. Tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Brody Doe, Bandido and Brody King, C, defeated the Don Callis family, Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita, by pinfall. Just wow. The result is suspicious, but the match itself was spectacular. Brody Doe have been just something special, while Okada and Takeshita are top-notch stars, where when they have their match, we're in for a treat. Singles match for the AEW World Championship. Hangman, Adam Page, C, retained over Samoa Joe by pinfall. Unfortunately, this match just followed a great tag match. Adam Page is a horrible champion, and this comes out as the match lacked a lot. After the match, the Ops all showed respect to Page, only to then turn on him and beat him down. I quit match. Darby Allin defeated Jon Moxley. Now everyone knew what the result would be, but this car crash was lazily put together. Sting returned to help Darby Allin, which further solidified poor booking and writing. Well, that's the results, and we were not bad. No to the main show. Plug time. Be sure to watch Mr. Boinker's Cartoon Apocalypse.
Welcome to another episode of EveryRing, that's everything wrestling. We are coming back to What If. So this week's topic is kind of playing out as we speak. What if WWE buys TNA? WWE. Effects on WWE. Gains a vast library. WWE would acquire TNA's extensive history, which includes many wrestlers who later became WWE stars, like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Kurt Angle. New talent source. WWE would have immediate access to TNA's current roster, giving them new wrestlers to use on their various brands. Potential for a new brand. TNA could become a developmental territory or a third brand, similar to how NXT UK operated, giving more exposure to rising stars and veterans. Increased market share. WWE would consolidate the wrestling market further, potentially leading to increased regulatory scrutiny and concerns about anti-competitive practices. Plus, with a lot of talent, this could solve airtime and development. The likes of Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Jace Jane, Lash Legend, and various talents get airtime. WWE spreading the wealth while letting go aged talent and individuals that don't work in the equation. With WWE ID and Evolve, this would be a perfect process where the whole transaction can lead to another invasion angle and equate in dominance in wrestling. AEW. Effects on AEW. Increased competition. TNA has been a competitor to AEW, and if WWE bought it, it would eliminate one of the few remaining national competitors. Potential for talent poaching. WWE could acquire TNA's roster, but it could also use the purchase as an opportunity to sign any top TNA talent not already under contract. Reduced competition for TV rights. With TNA out of the picture, AEW would face less competition when negotiating its next TV rights deal. This would mean TNA isn't number 2 anymore and can hurt AEW progress. With WB looking to be bought, this could seriously hurt the AEW working relationship. The alternative to the alternative could be out of the spectrum, losing money and be looking outside. AEW is in the news for all the wrong reasons recently due to the violent match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. Fans discuss may just damage the whole company. Plus, if WWE releases talents that don't fit the formula, it could mean added talent for AEW. If TNA gets a TV deal due to WWE, they could go directly against AEW, which could hurt viewership, and the domino effect would be damaging. TNA. Effects on TNA. Cessation of independent operations. TNA would cease to exist as an independent promotion, with its unique features, such as its style of matches, likely being phased out or absorbed into WWE's more traditional product. Absorption of talent. Many TNA wrestlers would likely be absorbed into WWE's system, while some might be released. Legacy preserved. WWE could preserve TNA's legacy by making its history and matches available on the WWE network, although this would be done through WWE's own lens. TNA wouldn't be thought as competition and absorbed into the legacy at WWE. The likes of AJ Styles could play a factor to keep the trade in and have a role similar to Triple H and Shawn Michaels. The added company could make premium live events more interesting where they top benefit from WWE ID Evolve and NXT. Bringing back the draft would also assist in the situation, again benefiting the situation. As mentioned with WWE, a lot of talent would benefit as the company too. TNA allowing for talent to grow would just create so many possibilities. TNA then would evolve into that piece of the puzzle WWE needed. Well, that's another episode of EveryRing. That's everything wrestling. Now to the predictions for NXT Halloween Havoc and of course Arvid's discussion. Let's wrestle.
I impressed many with my performance for the last few predictions. Nigel the Yeti will make predictions for NXT Halloween Havoc. So with no further ado, Leon Slater and Jevon Evans vs La Parka and Mr. Iguana. This will be an exciting tag team to further the combo of Jevon Evans and Leon Slater. Plus, if both WWE and TNA were smart, a perfect way to separate both titles where Jevon Evans and Leon Slater defeat the Hardy Boys and each taking their respective titles back to their companies. Prediction: Jevon Evans and Leon Slater win. Zarya vs Blake Monroe, vacant NXT Women's North American Championship. The build-up and sadness of the injury makes this very interesting. Zarya, representative for her North American girlfriend, will defend the title for the said girlfriend. This will be athletic and further the storyline between Zarya and Sol Ruka. Prediction: a new Women's North American Champion Blake Monroe. Ethan Page vs El Hijo de Drive. Wagner Jr., NXT North American Championship Day of the Dead match. Months in the making, this will possibly steal the show. With the added stipulation of Day of the Dead match will put Ethan Page against the wall, but his intelligence will factor big time. Prediction: Ethan All Ego Page. Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy vs Dark State, NXT Tag Team Championships Broken Rules match. Broken rules means no rules and the Hardys will take full advantage. Plus, this will help push for Hardy Boys vs Jevon Evans, so Hardys will exploit the situation. Prediction: Hardy Boys. Jacy Jayne vs Tatum Paxley, NXT Women's Championship. Both sides of the mirror situation. Both Jace and Tatum are in the same situation where both worked hard and have not gotten the respect they want. The Izzy factor makes this hard to really predict. Does jealousy play a factor, or does Izzy support her so-called friend? Prediction: a new NXT Women's Champion Tatum Paxley. Ricky Saints vs Trick Williams, NXT Championship. If Ricky wants to be the face that runs the place, he needs to win. Trick Williams is ready for the main roster, but is WWE ready to make the move? Prediction, and still NXT World Champion Ricky Saints. Well, now to the discussion. And you are welcome to be in my presence even with just my few moments of participation.
Wow,
Adu.
what a great time being a wrestling fan. As mentioned, AEW will have a tournament for the women's tag titles. Jamie Hayter and Queen Amanata won their match to select their first round opponents. Then the pairing of Mercedes Moon and Athena should be favorites to win just to add to the source belt count. On Smackdown, we witnessed Jade Cargill turn heel on Tiffany Stratton, which will be her opponent at Saturday night's main event. Jade is better suited for a heel persona, but questions will arise when Bianca Belair returns and the whole Naomi incident. WWE signed 5 new potential stars. Jamie Garcia, formerly known as Zozaya, hailing from Spain and has participated in CMLL, Pro Wrestling Noah, and Rev Pro. Cyril Coquerel, formerly known as Engel Blanc, from France and wrestled in WXW, All Japan Pro Wrestling. Mike Dudreder, formerly known as Mike D. Vecchio, who has wrestled throughout Europe and has made a name for himself in WXW, Rev Pro, Progress Wrestling and several others. Dusan Novakovic, a Serbian athlete and MMA fighter. Nathan Cranton, formerly known as Nathan Angel, who started wrestling in 2023. In reality he's stranger than fiction. There were reports before cult leader passed, he wanted to meet the late Bray Wyatt. It was reported hardcore legend Abdullah the Butcher has been hospitalized with serious health issues. The wild man from the Sudan has been battling many health issues. The 84-year-old was known for his battles against Bruiser Brody and numerous others. It has been reported superstar Candice LeRae has been working behind the scenes and was responsible for match writing and could possibly mean a future role for the superstar. Due to Sate's injury, the title has been stripped from him, leading to another title match for Saturday's main event where CM Punk vs Jey Uso, where a lot of fans are growing concerned with Jey being in the main event while Braun Breaker was not in the Battle Royal. Let's see how this plays out. Now to matches of the week, Wrestler of the Week and Indie Star. Matches of the week. Raw World Tag Championship, Judgment Day vs Dragon Lee and Arch Styles. A great match that highlighted athleticism and elite wrestling styles. Added to the story of conflict between members of the Judgment Day. Quick-paced, which helped start off the show. Chef's Kiss in Wrestling Plus took the titles off Judgment Day. NXT Men's Speed No. 1 Contenders Match. Axiom vs Shawn Legacy. Blink and you missed it. Both stars are extremely athletic and this match was just amazing. WWE need a Cruiserweight Championship to highlight stars like this. Legacy is the real deal. Smackdown. US Title Open Challenge. Ilja Dragunov vs Aleister Black. Dream match on Friday night. Hard-hitting and wonderful wrestling being highlighted. Only negative is Damian Priest entering the picture other than a great match. AEW 4-way tag match for match selection for the women's tag titles. Queen Aminator and Jamie Hayter vs Sky Blue and Julia Hart vs Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron vs Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. AEW's women's division has evolved into something special. All 8 women put on a masterpiece. Wow, again Tony Khan needs to embrace more of the very talented women's division. TNA. Again they are off due to Bound for Glory, so no real match on TNA, but we did witness a solid match in NXT. X Division Championship, Leon Slater vs Lorenzo Stacks Channing. Again Leon Slater is something very special and this match helped display to the world how the future is very bright for wrestling. Wrestlers of the Week. WWE. Ajli. No, not Mrs. CM Punk but newly crowned WWE Tag Champions Arch Styles and Dragon Lee. Putting out a masterpiece and winning gold. Wrestling fans win-win match. AEW. Kyle O'Reilly. Winning against Jon Moxley, albeit DQ, still a win and during the match itself was spectacular. Kyle O'Reilly put on a great wrestling match and hopefully Tony Khan rewards the former Red Dragon member. TNA. Again seeing there wasn't matches. By default. Leon Slater. The kid is amazing and this weekend we get to see the pairing of the star with Jevon Evans vs Triple A's Mr. Iguana and La Parker, which should open up the match against Hardy Boys to divide the gold. Indie Star. TME, Main Event. Danny Jones Jr. and Duke Davis. NWA Exodus Tag Champs. They also wrestle for Enjoy Wrestling and Us Wrestling. Self-named Best Tag Team in Pittsburgh. Well, that's another week of EveryRing That's Everything Wrestling. Chalo kushti karate hain.
Wrestling is something special. As you can see, our human element dealt with a lot of superstars. King Kong Bundy, a wrestler deserving WWE Hall of Fame. Sherry Martel was an amazing person who helped revolutionize the women's division. The Crusher, who Milwaukee famous, was a classic star. Puppet the Midget was a bigger-than-life superstar who is both engaging and ahead of his time. Wrestling is life and we want to push it forward.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 14, Kenosha Community Television. Remember to tune into my program, Just Talkin', shown right here, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. on Channel 14. On the program, we cover community events, talk to nonprofit organizations, and who knows, we may bump into a celebrity now and then. So remember to tune in to Just Talkin' Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. right here on Channel 14.
You are watching Kenosha Community Media. We provide you with education, media, and entertainment, while you provide us with the means to teach, entertain, and communicate. Thank you for allowing us to grow. See what's next for Kenosha Community Media.
EveryRing That's Everything Wrestling is carrying out the tradition that was brought to you by Diablo Angelico and Danger Dan. The show must go on. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m. on Kenosha Community Media. Channel 14 with Spectrum or on Roku KCM streaming. With EveryRing That's Everything Wrestling will keep you updated and informed. Mondays at 5 p.m. Fridays at 6 p.m. Tune in and enjoy wrestling. The renaissance of wrestling is occurring as we speak, so be part of sports entertainment. Each week you can see the discussion with topics, wrestlers and matches of the week. Looking at the big three: WWE, AEW and TNA. So if you enjoy wrestling and everything that makes wrestling special, tune in KCM 14 on Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m. EveryRing That's Everything Wrestling.
Bonkers Cartoon Apocalypse, where classic cartoons are revisited. Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sundays 10:30 a.m. If you enjoy classic and rare cartoons, you go to show. Nigel the Yeti is taking the reins while Mr. Boinkers add to the programming. The likes of Betty Boop, Popeye, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, Mickey Mouse, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Felix the Cat and so much more. On Kenosha Community Media Channel 14, sit back with friends and family and relive the magic of morning cartoons. Wake up, gather the family and enjoy cereal and relive one's youth. Mr. Boinkers Cartoon Apocalypse, where whimsy is part of the magic. Join the other circus freaks where cartoons were fun and artistic. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Enjoy what made mornings special. Mr. Boinkers Cartoon Apocalypse, where classics fill the time.
What the heck are we watching? Movie reviews without pompous and pretentious critics who have agendas. Kenosha Community Media, Fridays at 5 p.m. and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Cinephiles who like movies for entertainment and not rants and raves, who make the audiences feel bad for themselves. Weekly discussion on movies and with no alternatives. The movie reviews are to help audiences to make their decision. Not only are modern movies reviewed, but a discussion on hidden gems, where good movies that have fallen through the cracks and forgotten. So before you go out, check out What the Heck Are We Watching? On Kenosha Community Media Channel 14. Fridays at 5 p.m. and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m.
Just Turned Heel, hosted by Danger Dan and Diablo Angelico, as seen on EveryRing That's Everything Wrestling. Behind the curtain look at professional wrestling. A gritty shoot style of interviews where we look at various aspects of wrestling. Ever wanted to know what an indie star needs to do to get their foot in the door? Ever wanted to know what a booker does? Ever wanted to know the purpose of a referee is? Just Turned Heel will plunge into the world of wrestling and look at every facet. Just Turned Heel, YouTube exclusive, starting January 28, 2024.
You haven't seen horror till you've seen horror of the crying skull. See teenagers getting killed. See horror coming at you every scene, and a skull. See the skull coming at you. The skull, and hear her cry. I hope you enjoy the horror of the crying skull.
Beware! Take care! The little green dragon sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys, puppy dog tails, and big, fat snails. Beware! Pull the string! Pull the string! Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater can be viewed
on Saturdays at 9 o'clock, Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, and Fridays at midnight.
All right, ghoulies, you tune in. You won't be let down.